What are some of the characteristics of fungi? I put this here again so we can see where the fungi are over here. So we're definitely eukaryotic because the only things that are prokaryotic are the red and the blue here. All of the brown are eukaryotic. They are typically multicellular, although yeast are considered fungi and they are unicellular. They are heterotrophic, so they don't do photosynthesis. They have to consume their food. Now, one of the differences between animals and fungi, they're both heterotrophic. When animals consume their food, they ingest it and then they break it down. When fungi consume their food, they break it down and then they absorb it across their body. That's why we say here they acquire their nutrients by absorption. And then another difference here is that they have cell walls, and so we're going to see plants have cell walls too, but their cell walls are made up of chitin. So it's not the peptidoglycan that we saw in bacterial cell walls. It's not the type of compound that we see in plant cell walls. That's going to be cellulose. It's a different compound. It's called chitin. Chitin is the same thing that an insect skeleton is made of. So let's take a look at the basic structure of a fungus. The fungus has a vegetative body, which is essentially everything down here. And then there's the reproductive part, which is also called the fruiting body. Now that vegetative portion is made up of these individual strands that we see here called hyphae. And then if we have a whole mass of them, imagine just sort of a matted network of these, it's called the mycelium. And the hyphae we see blown up over here. The hyphae can have actual septae between the individual cells, or they might not. So this could all be one huge cell with lots of different nuclei in it, but they're not separated by a membrane. Here they are. Let's take a look at the major divisions of fungi. We have club fungi, mushrooms you're used to, sac fungi, mycorrhizal fungi, we have the conjugated fungi, and we also have chytrids. And then this is just showing where animals fall in relation to the fungi. Some fungi are parasitic or pathogenic to plants. This green mold on grapefruit, we can see fungus growing on grapes, powdery mildews and rusts. We also have parasitic and pathogenic fungi on animals. Ringworm is a fungus on the skin. We also see fungus that causes mycoses. Mycoses is just a disease that's caused by fungus, and we see that on the scalp. We see a fungus that is creating these little white dots, these little specklings here in the lungs. So it's a fungal infection in the airways. This is a type of fungal infection underneath the skin. Some fungi, of course, are beneficial. Mycorrhizae are very beneficial fungi. They create these mutualistic symbiotic interactions with the roots of plants, and it allows the roots of the plants to have a better uptake of nutrients. So they're showing here that if we have more mycorrhiza down here, the plant is growing better. It really increases the health of the plant. Lichen is actually a symbiosis between a fungus and an algae, and they have different forms. You can see them growing on the surfaces of rocks and trees. A lot of our fungi are decomposers, working down there in the soil to return those nutrients into a usable form for other organisms. Fungi can be used for pest control. We can introduce fungi to control for, like, say, crop pests, and some fungi are used for food. Here we see a morel mushroom, which is a type of a sac fungi, and then we also see a truffle, which is a type of a club fungi. So that gets us through chapter 13.